Tonight I watched Kimberly Levin's Runoff, which is available on Amazon to rent. And I think it's on Vimeo on demand and a few other VOD services. I would also like to point out that on the poster, there's a pull quote from my dear friend Kristen Sales. So you should read her review, which you can get a glimpse of on the poster. I actually haven't read her review yet. I'm going to read it after I say what I think, because I like to say what I have to say first and then read reviews. Anyways, there were aspects of the film that I really liked. I thought it was beautifully shot. I'm not sure who the cinematographer was. Someone named Hermes Marco. I don't know. Beautifully shot film. Written and directed by Kimberly Levin, and she also did some of the film editing. In that like extreme wide screen, which I always love that aspect ratio. It's set in a unnamed rural part of California, but the leads all have sort of Midwest accents, so I would say it's in like the breadbasket somewhere probably, but they were cows. But it could have really been like in a lot of places in rural America. Like it very much reminded me of where I grew up. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Northern California, in a very heavy ranching community, and seeing all the like cows and turkeys and antibiotics and just fields and corn, and it was like, oh, I'm home again, no. So there were aspects of the film that I think are probably mesmerizing for people who didn't grow up in rural America, and for the rest of us are like not as exotic, because it's not exotic because we spent our lives there. But I do appreciate films that take the time to tell stories set in rural America, because there's not many of them. It's like Metropolis is where all the stories take place, and that's not true. And there's specific things that are part of life in rural America that aren't necessarily the same in urban places. And there's things that are the same, like shady deeds being done for people that need shady deeds done, and that kind of stuff, which is what this film is sort of about. It's about a family who runs has a small farm and a house, and they sell the antibiotics and pesticides and things like that for the other ranches and farms around. And the woman also beekeeps. And they are hitting tough times, and there's a big industrial company coming in and taking all of their sales and trying to buy their house for warehouses, and it's sort of about corporate America versus, mom and pop in that sense. But then it's also a family drama in that their teenage son is an artist, and the father wants him to go and study ag, and oh my god, ag. Ugh. I avoided taking ag classes. I took computer classes even though I didn't need them in order to not take ag. Yeah. Where was I going with this? Then there's like medical costs, and like the bank is going to take their house, and there's just all kinds of pressure going down. And so the wife in the family, played by Joanne Kelly, may or may not make... There's a cat. May or may not make a decision to help somebody out in a slightly illegal way. And that's sort of the drama of the film hinges on that. But it's not really plot oriented, even though that is a big major plot point. It's really about the character dynamics, the various people that they interact with, both in the town and in their business. How nature interacts with humanity, and how the commodification of farming has sort of changed the way things are done because it's all about the bottom line. So there's just a lot going on in this movie, and there were parts where I was just really bored. So, and I think those were the parts that if I hadn't grown up in a small town, they were the parts that were like lulled by the beauty of, rural America, and I'm like, next, because I've been there. It's beautiful, but it can be really boring. I don't know. I'd like to see more from Kimberly Levin. This is her first film. She's definitely got a point of view and an aesthetic that's very strong. And she's good with actors. All the performances were really top-notch. So she's definitely a voice to look out for in the future. Again, this film was called Runoff. It's written and directed by Kimberly Levin. You can rent it on Amazon, Vimeo on Demand, YouTube, all kinds of places. Just type in Runoff 2015, you'll find it, and you'll probably enjoy it.